Good morning, Eagles Nation. This is Steve Hyder here with Gate City Sports Channel, and today I'm here to go over the keys to victory against the Atlanta Falcons. So let's dive down to it, guys.
Ryan rolling to the right. Ryan in trouble. Ryan flips one into the end zone with a crisp.
Okay. As has been talked about quite extensively from a lot of different content creators from the Philadelphia Eagles channel itself, these are two teams that are familiar with one another. We have had the pleasure of playing one another for quite a few years in a row now. I believe this is Doug Peterson's fourth game against the Atlanta Falcons since he's been coach. The big one being the victory that we were able to escape with playing Atlanta in our 2017 Super Bowl run. And of course, last year's thrilling beginning of the year game where it came down. So 2 games in a row, basically, to where we've come down to the last play of the game between Atlanta and Philadelphia. So it's going to be an exciting game. The first thing that comes to my attention about the Atlanta Falcons is they spent a lot of effort on their offensive line during the offseason, utilizing 2 first-round draft choices to try to shore up their offensive line, in Boston College's Chris Lindstrom and Washington's Caleb McGarry. Unfortunately for the Atlanta Falcons, Chris Lindstrom, who I do believe will be a very good football player in the league, suffered a foot injury. I don't know if he broke the ankle, broke the leg, something like that, but he's going to miss some time. He's going to miss this game. And McGarry had a kind of up and down performance during week 1 for the Atlanta Falcons. That prompted their head coach, Dan Quinn, to throw some words out to the universe that proved to be a pretty big letdown from week 1 in their game against the Vikings. He made the comment that the Atlanta Falcons were going to be bigger, stronger, and nastier. And they really got it. They really had it taken to them by the Minnesota Vikings in Minnesota last week.
Dalvin Cook, this guy.
So earlier in the week, when I began the process of previewing this game, one of the first videos I made about the Atlanta Falcons, I talked about this idea of being bigger, stronger, and nastier, and how the Atlanta Falcons are truly going through an identity crisis, to where the thing that their coach is professing them to want to be doesn't line up to necessarily the personnel matching they have on their roster, nor does it really match up to the offensive coordinator that they just put in control, Dirk Cutter, in the way that he likes to operate his offenses. So I think not only is the league a little perplexed about what the Atlanta Falcons are, but I think the Atlanta Falcons are also kind of a little confused on their own identity. And I got to be honest with you, going into a game like this, it kind of makes them dangerous because we know what they want to be, but we don't really know what they are. So do you rely on your game film from the year prior? Do you rely on the game film they just put out there in Minnesota? I mean, me personally, I don't think that what they threw out in Minnesota is who they are. I think it's an anomaly. So here's what I see as the keys to victory for the Eagles. Offense on Atlanta's defense. I think it really has to start off with us being physical. And I think the only way that we're going to prove ourselves to be physical is to utilize the run at some point. I personally would like to see us start off with the run, bring Atlanta's defense into the box, and then start beating them over the top. However, it works either way. Whether we spread them out, we could also spread them out. They're going to try to take Deshaun Jackson away. There's no doubt about that. They're probably going to say we're not going to get beat by Deshaun Jackson. So that's the case, and they're going to put over top coverage on Deshaun Jackson. Let's go to the middle. Let's work the middle with our 2 tight ends. Let's hit them hard with our 2 tight ends. If that's the plan, we're going to work the middle. Then when we get the lead and we really need to keep Matt Ryan on the sideline and that offense on the sideline, then let's go ahead and let's really start getting physical with this team from the 12 and 13 man personnel packages Obviously, if we're going to run 13-man personnel with only 2 tight ends, that means we're probably going to be bringing in our rookie left tackle of the future, Andre Dillard, and lining him up as a tight end. And let's really get behind this offensive line and really go after pushing Grady Jarrett, Deion Jones, and Neal, their safety Neal, off of this line. Them out of the play, and let's run the ball with Jordan Howard down their throats. To me, that's key number one, is being physical. Being physical meaning utilizing 12 and 13-man personnel to either run the ball very effectively or to really open up the passing game from the 12 and 13-man personnel with Zach Ertz and Dallas Goedert on that middle of the Atlanta Falcons defense. So that would be key number one to me. The second key to this game is going to be for Carson Wentz to play a very sound and very quick release football game. We don't need him to be holding on to this ball for extensive amounts of time. This defense is not the most physical in terms of its front line, but it's fast. And what we don't need is people like Deion Jones or Grady Jarrett teeing off on Carson Wentz. So we're going to need Carson Wentz to make smart, quick decisions with the football and this offensive line to keep him upright. That would be my second key to this game. All right, my third key to the game kind of ties into the first 2 keys. I'm only going to probably do 4 keys. My third key to this game is going to be this. The offense must execute the playbook. It must stick to the plan, and we must make Atlanta pay for mistakes. And I'm going to tell you why. We want to keep Atlanta, who in its own right has a very explosive offense, on the sideline as much as possible. This is going to help our defense. And if we cannot execute on the X's and O's of our game plan, it could be a very long night for our defense. So really, this is about offensive execution, keeping the defense in the clear. No foolish mistakes, no quick 3 and outs. Those type of things we've got to avoid. No turnovers, no quick 3 and outs. Keep that defense in the best place it can possibly be in. My fourth key to the game, and I lied, I'm going to give 5. My fourth key to the game. My fourth key to the game is the defensive line must move Matt Ryan off of his spot. We've got to get pressure on Matt Ryan. And in conjunction to the defensive line getting pressure to Matt Ryan, as was stated by our defensive coordinator, our defensive secondary must provide a little bit of time for the defensive line to get pressure on the quarterback, meaning no more wide open wide receivers running down the seam. That cannot happen. This team will explode on us if we allow that to happen. These receivers, while I'm not knocking Washington, because I think Washington's receivers are better than everyone thought. With that said, they don't have Julio Jones on the Redskins. They don't have Calvin Ridley on the Redskins. They don't have Mohamed Sanu on the Redskins. They don't have Hooper on the Redskins. Okay? They don't have Freeman on the Redskins. We can't let this happen this game. The defensive line's got to get home, and our corners have got to at least hold up in coverage long enough to give the defensive line at least a chance to get home. That's my fourth key. My fifth and final key to the game is the defense must not become too predictable against a veteran and skilled quarterback in Matt Ryan. Meaning, I don't think we need to go Jim Johnson style all-out blitzes, because we seem to have gotten our asses burnt by Washington in the first half of last week's game by doing that. With that said, we still need to utilize stunts and movement at the line. We need to throw in at least attempts to make some of our coverages be disguised. And then lastly, every once in a while, we need to bring a little pressure through the blitz. It doesn't need to be all out, But we can send a blitzing corner, a blitzing linebacker, a blitzing safety. Okay? We can do things that add a little more pressure, don't completely give up our coverage schemes, and allow us to knock Matt Ryan off of his spot. That's my fifth and final key to the game, guys. All right, with that said, I'm going to hop off of here. I want to thank you all for watching this video. I just have a couple of things to ask you guys to do. 3 things to be precise. Like, comment, and subscribe, guys. All right, y'all. Peace. All right, I'm out of here, guys. Bye. All right, y'all. EAGLES. Eagles, guys. All right.